Yeah, we've got some news coming in at the RT News Centre as well. Since Lucy's report's been on air there, started it by saying 2 had been confirmed killed in Yemen. We're now hearing that toll's gone up to at least 4 killed as Yemeni protesters have clashed with police outside the US Embassy in Sana'a there. Don't forget you can stay up to date with all the latest from across the Muslim world by following our correspondent Lucy Kafanoff on Twitter. Now, joining us live from the US, let's talk to independent news editor Charlie McGrath. Charlie, thanks for taking the time to be with us. You've posted a video on YouTube reacting to the latest events where you say Americans are being led to the slaughter by propaganda. What do you mean by that?
Well, basically, you know, in March of 2011, an Italian news agency reported one of the commanders of the so-called freedom fighters inside of Libya, one Mr. al-Hasidi, he claimed the months earlier be fighting the West in Afghanistan under the banner of al-Qaeda. In fact, 25 of his fighters were directly linked to al-Qaeda. And it wasn't even a month after that. In April 2011, John McCain came out rallying support for the so-called freedom fighters inside of Libya, saying they need our support and they need our arms. And within a month, we had Muammar Gaddafi butchered, and that video was all over YouTube. In that same month of October 2011, Hillary Clinton issued her famous statement, "We came, we saw, he died." You know, and so we have this convoluted destabilization throughout the Middle East and North Africa. And, you know, this is the end result. I know this video, this innocence of Muslim video is being blamed for all this. But, I mean, really, this is a powder keg looking for a spark. I believe if most Americans understood what was being done in our name in destabilizing the Middle East and North Africa, they would be absolutely horrified. And what other result can we expect? These people, in a lot of cases, you know, they have no hope. Their economies are destroyed. They see what they're calling foreign invaders in their land, flying drones over their country. Their leadership's being, assassinated, and these forms of government are being installed. Of course, this kind of thing is going to happen. I'm surprised it's taken this long. And I also wouldn't be surprised if we see it escalate from here.
So what's the point then, given everything you've said, what's the point of Washington spending so much money and effort to boost its image abroad, as it seems to have been doing, if it can then be so easily tarnished by, well, this incident now, the amateur film, although you're saying that it's actually much bigger than that. But it's a huge waste of money, time and effort. And why is it all being done in the first place? It's a very simple question, but winding it all back, why is it all happening?
Well, you know, I fought in the Gulf War over 2 decades ago for the United States of America. Over 2 decades ago, under Papa Bush's first Gulf War. We're still in this region. I think the answer is very, very simple. What did you put in your car to come to the studio today? It's all about control of energy resources and controlling these lands that are flush with the easy-to-acquire energy resources. So, you know, we can wrap any kind of purple finger revolution. We want people to have democracy and have freedom. But at the end of the day, when we look at the results of what's been accomplished over 2 decades of being in this region, destabilizing the region, we have hundreds of millions of people who have, in a lot of cases, have had their world turned upside down. And in too many cases, they've had relatives that have been killed in this process. And we're building enemies towards this country. And, you know, I think that there's a need for a major wake-up call in the West, especially the United States, to understand if the same thing was happening in our own country, and unfortunately we might see it here soon, but if we were going outside and having predator drones blowing up buildings in our neighborhood, if we were constantly under foreign assault, we too would take the same position, I think, that a lot of these people are. And our mainstream media, of course, is just going to keep playing this as, you know, they're out-of-control Muslims that are ticked off about a movie, but we need to look at the whole situation. I mean, their lives, in a lot of cases, have been subjected to decades of this control.
I can hear your reasoning and I can hear you thinking there and your point of view. I mean, it takes me on to the next question, but I almost kind of know what your answer is going to be there. It kind of fits in. Washington's been backing some of these extremist movements in the Muslim world since the Arab Spring began last year. I was going to ask you, why are these elements now vehemently, it seems, biting the hand that's still feeding them?
Your guess is as good as mine on that. I mean, we could get into deep conspiracy theories, or we can get into just complete inept foreign policy. But here's what I know. You know, your reporter, talked to the fact, and you updated the story that we have 4 civilians dead now in protest. We have Ambassador Chris Stevens and 4 others in Libya being killed the other night. And, this is all being done by people that were our friends, when it was time to get rid of Muammar Gaddafi. I don't, looking at it from my perspective, I see everything that is being done through the stage, the theater of propaganda, is we want peace, we want stability, we want these people to be free, but actions speak much louder than words. And in fact, we have statements by Secretary of State Hillary Clinton coming out about we came and killed and butchered, and the facts are the boots on the ground, the people that are being affected by this kind of policy, they've had enough. And, so it isn't surprising when we see so-called allies turn on us, because I think everybody in that region would love to see the United States, this imperial force, out of that region of the world.
A last quick thought from you. More anti-American protests are expected across the Muslim world on Friday after prayers. What will it take to calm this latest wave of anger, do you think, then?
I don't think there is any calming it. I think we saw the Arab Spring. We mentioned a lot of support of these, what we now know were al-Qaeda terrorists, by the United States. I don't think there's any calming to be had. I think it'll be calm once our presence is out of them, once we stop dictating policy in their homeland.
Thank you for your thoughts, making them so clear. It's appreciated. That was Independent News editor Charlie McGrath on the line there from the USA. Thank you.